Good evening, it's Valerie here coming to you after dinner from home. I am on my own. One person is having a shower, one person is attending a youth event on Zoom, and another one is studying. And I have Teddy who is at my feet, always at my feet. I went for a really long drive today to catch up on some training that I had signed up for and just got sidetracked from it. And it was a really fantastic way to do some learning, but also to just have a breather. And in the midst of all of it, I also then called up a dear friend. We are also colleagues and we are also friends. To vent a little, I suppose. I was, aware of just some irritation that I'd been experiencing as as I'm living through COVID-19 and just trying to figure out what things are really annoying me right now. I'm not proud that I get triggered and irritated and annoyed. I do know I have to work it through. And I think what's really come out of this is something that I really believe in. I often say at home, we don't take a holiday from life. Adversity happens, difficult times happen, and it requires us to journey through it and to actually work through it. And I think what I would like to say is that maturity is a really significant psychological, not just concept, but reality. And probably the reason why I push back against the self-care movement quite a bit. I don't have an issue with self-care per se. I just think sometimes it becomes directionless when we talk about difficult times and caring for ourselves. Maturity, on the other hand, accepts that we all go through particular stages. Awareness of our world, for example, the things that really bug us, the things that sadden us, the things that embolden us as well. And as we walk through life and adversity and the things that happen to us, we mature. We grow in the depth of our understanding of what we believe in. We grow in the depth of our understanding for what we will contribute to. We grow in our resolve for who we will help, how we will help. We come to a deeper appreciation and awareness of the world that we live in. We think about our political attitudes. We think about our social attitudes, our moral, ethical attitudes. Now, all of these things exist. They are not high, lofty ideals. They actually come from psychological roots that I often think we forget. I think psychology can sometimes rest on an idea of that we are a conglomerate of wellness versus illness symptoms. So not to dismiss that, we will feel negative symptoms such as anxiety and stress and low mood, but we are also able to experience positive affect or the positive elements of our mental health and our well-being. And underpinning all of that really comes an understanding that as human beings, taking a lifespan development perspective, we grow. We grow from when we were little and we didn't have an awareness of the world and we had a fairly innocent view of how things are, to experiencing more and more complex situations. The first time someone took away your toy, the first time your teacher scolded you for nothing, the first time a boy or a girl rejected you, the first time you got fired from your job. I often think that that's a really important milestone. Every one of us needs to get fired from our job at least once. So we grow in our perspective. We start to clarify for ourselves our worldview, not to be terrified of it. We learn how to be competent. If you've been someone who's been fired before, for example, and many of us are losing our jobs right now, we go through the stages of feeling helpless and hopeless and needing to dig deep into, what can we actually do in times of difficulty? Who are the people we can count on? How are the different ways that we can resource ourselves? How do we actually simplify life? Our pride, that's a difficult one too when we lose our jobs. Our pride, when we're actually trying to figure out what this means not to have a job, not to have an employment. And then we dig deeper and we ask ourselves, what identities are being impacted? Do we have an invested identity in our job, in our career? Now that we've lost it, who are we? We may feel guilt in terms of not being able to support. We may feel fear, not being able to provide for family and take care of our basic needs. And all of these things come from a sense of who we are, an understanding of how we see the world and what we believe in. Good evening, Naomi. I've had you on my mind. I may have even sent you an email. Part of my problem of having Teflon brain is that I just really don't hold on to things. So if I sent you an email, hopefully you've got it. If you haven't received an email from me yet, it means that you've been on my mind and I want to get an email out to you. So the part of, I think, my irritation or my growing annoyance, of which I'm not proud of, but I accept that I'm human, as we go through these days of us, some people, well, everybody has their own reaction, is I want to say that maturity is an important psychological concept and reality. I did, Naomi, you did on my mind too. Brilliant, 100%, awesome. And we need not be afraid of it. We need not be afraid of it as we watch our children grow through it. We need not be afraid of it as we watch ourselves go through it. It's something to be embraced. It's something to be accepted, something to be normalized. That maturity actually is a pretty big, important, significant goal of human psychology, human functioning, and human development. And I hope that we have the opportunities to take some time to reflect on the things that I've just mentioned now, as it gives us a growing awareness of our attitudes and our reactions to other people, our internal reactions within ourselves, and our belief structures as we interact with the world. Significant, important anchors in human growth. Good night, Naomi. Good night, world.